I will sit here and say I think this was a middle of the road game. What up, YouTube? H-Star going to be talking about Gungrave G.O.R.E, a game I just could not fathom to even continue to beat, considering how lengthy the game is. The game is like 30 stages long, but the biggest reason why I ended up having to drop this game is simply because of the repetitive nature of it. But it's crazy because when you start the game and it gets to like the first couple stages, it's a relatively fun time because you're playing as this god named Grave who could just go around and just murder a whole room of enemies without saying a word. He's one of the ultimate silent badass protagonists that I've seen in a long time. But even with this badass protagonist, it don't make that much for a good story, or I ain't gonna say lack of a good story, but a story that's non-existent. You have this premise, and by the time I got to like, I don't know, I think it was like the 12th mission, I still didn't have no idea what was going on. Nobody was like pulling you to the side and kind of explaining you what's going on, who you are, what this company is you work for. And at the beginning of the game, it kind of felt like that it was one of them games that would start off like you're this overpowered god who can't be stopped, and something happens, you damn near have a near-death experience, and you have to end up resetting and actually have to get good in a sense. It wasn't like that here. Like every single stage is practically you go from point A to point B, clearing a room, murdering a bunch of people, and eventually that whole sequence got very boring and eventually extremely repetitive because you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. And the couple boss fights that you'll encounter up to that point, they were relatively easy, and I mean easy as hell. Like they didn't offer no challenge, and I get it. I'm this gun-wielding god who isn't Doom guy. And granted, the game can be fun, a lot of fun, just going around blasting away enemies. It was the small attention to detail that they had, where you start blowing up certain objects in the room or in an arena, you start seeing it just explode into a million pieces, and you can even see it with the enemies. You end up shooting them to the point you see limbs just start flying everywhere. I think that was a nice touch with the attention to detail. But overall, I will sit here and say I think this was a middle of the road game. Like a game I'd probably, if I had to score it, probably give it a 5 out of 10 at best. Simply because of the repetitive nature of it. The lack of storytelling is holding back other aspects of the game that I like the moment-to-moment gameplay and the small attention to detail. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Till next time, it's been H-Dog here, and I'm out. Peace.